Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. And of course, I am Batgirl, and here's Ben Lesnick. How you doing today?
Hello, not too bad.
Yeah, you get a lot of sleep lately, or you been too
No,
busy with the? Yeah.
no, it's been a busy couple of weeks,
Oh,
but can't complain.
how was the weekend? I know you watched movies there for one day, but how much work was there in relationship to the play that you had?
Oh, not too much work. In fact, I spent my extra time here on the weekend scanning stuff. I've got all of Chris's old Week Commander documentation I've been archiving in my spare time.
Okay. What page you on?
About 8,000 right now. That's what I have left to do.
Holy shit!
And that's what I've done.
Wow, that's a lot. Is it like scripts and
Yes,
technical documents?
different iterations of the script for the movie, storyboards, correspondence, budgets, unit lists, all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay. Let's move this way a little bit. I think people could hear me no matter what. I think we'll put it right there. All right. So you guys pushed out a P.T.U patch. What wave are you on at this point? Do you know?
I believe we're still in wave one, but I think we've updated the patch once or twice now with another one coming today.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll expand shortly.
How do you guys? I felt that it was pretty stable, a lot more stable than 2.1 was when it first came out. Though there
We've
are
seen a lot of,
bugs.
actually, it's the other way around for us. We've seen a lot of stability issues.
Yeah.
The biggest problem was all the exclusion stuff. We switched to a new exclusion process, which left out a bunch of lights and textures. They spent basically last weekend tracking down missing replace me assets. A couple of them did not make it in, so you see stuff like the red lights in Crusader. But that will all be fixed pretty soon. That's not really a blocker. It just makes the game a little uglier.
Okay. So how long? Well, this is a bad question because when people ask me in my company when's such and such coming out, I can't say because you never know. But not in days, weeks, or months, but like just in relationships, soon, soonish, or not so soon. How close are we to having persistence in the P.T.U. or in the baby P.U. and maybe some cargo missions?
They're both coming. I can't say which patch they are 'cause we don't know yet.
Okay.
But it's a when question. I can't,
All
can't
right.
say much there.
Okay, so we're going to start with a question from Pappy Boynton, who always seems to get his questions to me. And, well, it's because he's a buddy and we like him. Can the Starfarer haul an M50 or smaller in the cargo bay?
Well, it's a tanker, so it would need to be a liquid M50. No, no. Yeah, it should fit in there. I have not tried, so I don't know. But
You have not
I think if
tried?
you have the cargo pod, you should be able to jam one in there.
I thought that it was a liquid tanker, but you could also switch, carry some
Yeah, you,
cargo.
you can switch to dry goods. That was
Okay.
just a joke. Don't start a forum thread, please. No, yeah,
All right.
I think it should fit. I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Okay. A new wave of concept ships is coming, according to you. Is it
Yes,
going to be civilian or military ships or both?
primarily civilian. There's
Prim-
there's a couple military ships like the Corvette was obviously designed as a commerce raider, but
Okay.
a bunch of the others are civilian.
It's the Corvette loosely based on like the Carillion Corvette from Star Wars,
No, the go-to one in
concept
my
wise.
head
Okay.
was the Kilrathi Corvette from Wing Commander 3,
Okay.
just because that is the pretty much one of the only capital ships in Wing Commander you ever go head to head with, and it's actually a pain to kill. So we're not making it look
Yes,
like
it
that,
was.
but I asked that there be a special focus on turret coverage, which was that thing's
Okay.
ace in the hole.
So now a little bit of interjection from me. In the beginning, when a ship came out, because we had a ship come out once in a blue moon, there was a lot of lore that was released with it, and of course there were brochures and there was commercials. Are we going to get back at some point to that type of release when things slow down a little bit, or are you going to catch up on the ones that you've already released?
I think once we hit a big concept sale, we will do more lore. Yeah, we still did it for the last couple. We did the space airliner with the card and the manual and all that stuff.
Oh,
So,
yeah, that's
yeah,
right. You did have the manual on the card. Okay.
yeah.
But brochures, is that team just tied up with the production of the game itself?
I mean, there's a job listing for a marketing artist on the website, and that is why you have not seen too many more brochures. Right now, we can contract them out, but it's a bigger expense. So
Makes sense. All right. Is there a female player version actress, and who is she in Squadron 42? I think he's talking about in the scenes that we've seen so far.
they didn't record them with both, but they can just swap the body, I believe.
So we don't know who the actress was. Okay.
No, I don't know. Someone does, but
All right. Diamondback wants to know Avenger versions. Are they going to eventually see Battlefield upgrade kits, or are they distinctive hulls?
which ones?
The Avengers.
Oh, well, no, they will get distinct. You can just buy the modular if you want, and I think we specified that when we did the when we announced them, just because we didn't want people buying more than one if they didn't have to.
All right. Can we, with physical packages, get an add-on kit offered to all the goodies from the digital version on top of our physicals without having to buy a whole second complete package? He's talking about like the model and the
From way back when.
yeah.
It'll vary. I mean, in most cases, I think we give you both, but it'll vary depending on the specific item.
Okay. Would you ever consider, with reasonable rules on it, offering a build-your-own combo pack option, something like a 5-hull, $500 minimum package?
Yes, we would like to do a la carte packages.
Chinese food menu? Yeah.
Yeah, we do want to do a la carte packages. It's just it's more of a challenge for Turbulent database wise, and there's a lot of test cases. You need to make sure people aren't breaking the meta game in XYZ way. So it hasn't been a priority. I'd expect it to be something we do closer to launch. Once we get to, when I would feel more comfortable offering packages like that once you can actually get the stuff in them all at once. So once the star map is there to download and other thing. So maybe closer to launch.
All right. Those last few were from Diamondback. Yoko Rose, who won a package last time and gave it away to a friend that hasn't been in the game yet. Thank you, Yoko, for expanding on the backer base. I really appreciate that. She wants to know, now that Star Citizen will have landing on planets available at some point in the future, will we start to see vehicles other than our current buggy showing up for sale for real money or game money, and what might they be?
Not anytime soon. I think vehicles like the rovers and so on. Yeah. No, we want to have the mechanic in there first, where you can actually go roving somewhere. So,
All right.
but they wouldn't come until we get there.
Will the rovers ever have an ability to fight each other, like a tank?
Yeah, I think we'd be stupid not to do that.
Okay. It's kind of like the Mass Effect one, right? Herr Stein, is it the counterpart to the Hornet? Is it more on the same level of the Saber and the Gladius? Shouldn't the Saber be on the same level with the Hornet? So I think he's talking about the Saber here. The Saber and the Hornet, explain the relationship to one another. They're both medium fighters. What's the give and take in those? Why would I pick one over the other?
Hornet should be a little bit more heavily armed, not quite as maneuverable or fast. Saber should be, speed, but lower, more limited weapons.
Okay. And is there a stealth mechanic in the Saber?
There's stealth mechanic in everything. Saber itself is not specifically a stealth ship, but you would have the option of outfitting it as such, like you would any of our ships.
Okay. I seem to remember them saying it was more stealthy than the Hornet, but they never said it was a stealth ship, so I agree with that.
I think that's probably more, it has a lower electronic signature than the Hornet. It's faster and so on. But I don't think it's not a full-blown stealth fighter. Not that we've announced any of those yet.
Okay. It seems like people want to expand this universe into a real universe where you can do more and more things. Think about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Are they going to be small social games in bars, like poker games or chess or multi-crew ships, like on the Millennium Falcon when people play chess. You going to include that in the game somehow, someday?
Down the line for sure. I remember Chris answered this early on. It was, let's get the main part done first, and then stuff like adding chess or checkers or poker or something is a pretty easy thing to do. But it's more of at the polish phase than right now. I think we'd be wasting everybody's time if 2.3 came out and the big change was that you could play cards.
I agree with you. I wonder what it's like there. Like, at this point, you have the baby P.U. out, and there's got to be some kind of a itch on everybody that's playing the game to have some kind of live events or some kind of content coming out on a more regular basis, more missions. What's the infrastructure that you're building to be able to have those dynamic missions created over time inside of our game universe?
Sorry, repeat that one.
Yeah, it's a long one, right?
Dynamic missions in the game universe.
All right, in other words, think about it. It's an MMO, it's a dynamic universe, and you're not doing it like the other MMOs do where it's on rails, like a theme park. So what kind of infrastructure are you building behind the scenes that's going to keep the game interesting, keep adding missions, because you don't want to feel like you're doing the same ones over and over again?
Oh, yeah. It's just the idea of a mission system that derives from player actions and the economy. So, it needs the ability to create missions relating to content we don't create. So when players are moving goods into this one particular area, it needs to be able to know, okay, spawn opportunities for pirates, spawn opportunities for anti-piracy, spawn opportunities for someone else wanting this particular. So it needs to come from player action, which is one of the reasons we watch what players are doing in the P.U.
But with all the talent there, are there going to also be some kind of missions that you create there that have storylines driven behind them that might not be... Okay.
I mean, we've got that already in the some degree. Very, very limited form of that in the game right now. The whole
pretty awesome degree.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, that's a pretty awesome degree when you go out to the space station and try to figure out what happened. And what people want to know is, are you going to be able to see more of those over time? Are you going to sprinkle them all over the place?
Oh, for sure. The guys at Foundry are expert mission designers in that sense.
Awesome.
I don't know if you remember Privateer 2. An average Week Commander game had between 40 and 50 missions designed for it. Privateer 2 had something like 300 or 400 just because they were so good at creating all these little background missions. And, it was brute force at the time. They wanted these random missions to appear all the time, so they did so many of them that it would always seem different. It's difficult to get the same mission in a row in Privateer. And
Privateer 2.
Privateer 2, yeah. And they went, Privateer 1, it's essentially just the variable corporation will pay you variable money to fight variable enemy at variable point. Privateer 2, they handcrafted so many missions, and we'll see that in this, no question. And the great thing is that the guys there, they've been with Space, they've been working since Privateer 2. They've worked with Star Lancer and Battlestar Galactica and so on over the years before doing the Lego stuff. They will take the system we build and they will milk it for every ounce of possibility. I don't know if anybody remembers the math mission in Privateer where you had to solve math problems to rescue a kidnapped girl.
Yes.
Everyone hated it. The mark of a great game is that there's a mission everybody hates like that. So.
Yeah, I could remember a few of them in Chris's games.
Yeah,
Trying to chase down disappearing torpedoes was one of my worst, but
Oh yeah, and that was a real pain in the butt because it was the fourth mission of the game. Normally you go, here, learn how to patrol, learn how to escort, learn how to attack a capital ship. Here's a hellish situation you have to solve. So.
You have to kill these ships, get over here, and then you have to take out these missiles you can't see, and you have to get to them without knowing where they're going to appear. Yeah, that was fun. That was Star Lancer.
Star Lancer was full of those missile missions.
What?
Star Lancer was full of those torpedo intercept missions.
It was fun. This is from one of the new enablers. This is from Conquer, and he wants to know... This question hasn't just been sent to me by him, but he's the most recent one to send it in. So right now we have Arena Commander to test our skills as a pilot, and we're going to have Star Marine eventually, so we can hone our skills as a FPS person. But are there any plans to have a training system, a virtual training system, for the engineers and scientists out there?
Down the line, for sure. It's one of those things where once we have the game done, we can build the tutorials that work. But this is a constant problem we have right now. We built a tutorial for Arena Commander, and it doesn't work anymore. I mean, it's physically broken right now, but it doesn't work either because it doesn't show you how to use a ship as it works today. It doesn't show you how to do a multi-crew ship. It doesn't show you how to interact in Crusader. The problem is, you drop a team of 5 or 6 people to develop a tutorial like that. You can't do that every patch, so it's a matter of waiting until things are more solidified before we go back and shape the new player experience.
Okay. And he has a question about the Xi'an Scout, and okay, so I'm gonna frame this in a way. The Xi'an Scout is a single-seater, yet it carries the moniker of a scout, and scouts generally in our world are reconnaissance aircraft that have multiple people. So what's the designation scout mean? And is this one of those where you scout for enemy aircraft and battle fleets? Would you be doing reconnaissance missions in that way inside of a scout? What's your definition of a scout in Star Citizen? So try to ask it, including the Xi'an Scout in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reconnaissance ship. It's something for longer duration missions, scouting a jump point, that sort of thing. We're still working on the 2C thing. That was an error that has been compounded by the fact that it's done now. But
yes.
we would like eventually to go back and say, okay, here's how to do a second C.
All right, so this, again, the Xi'an Scout, like all the other ships, this is iteration 1 that's in our hangar. We've already learned through ships like the Freelancer and the Constellation that there may be many revisions to this over time.
Yeah, it's really darn pretty, though.
Oh, God, it is.
It's just looking in the hangar. It's definitely become faster and lighter, but it still matches up with the value of the thing. But yeah, I think we'll get a lot better feedback once it actually is flyable. Hopefully next patch, because there's a lot of backseat quarterbacking on it. But I obviously do understand that people were disappointed that the second seat was cut, and I have not figured out entirely what happened there myself yet. So
okay.
Ask me that question again in the future because I'm going to.
All right. I also was under the impression of originally that it wasn't going to be a glass cockpit. It was going to be like a holographic cockpit, but I love it.
Yeah, we talked about having it so it was entirely closed off, but
right.
It did not go that way.
I love it. I also like the floating stairs. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you some questions about the game, but not entirely about the game, about your love of the game. So I want to know, based on the ships that are out now, what's your favorite and why?
M50 is fine. I really like the M50. I mean, it reminds me most of the Ferret from Wing Commander. It's just a very easy ship to zip around and not be too concerned about your loadout or anything like that. For what's best, I mean, at this stage in balancing, there usually is one ship that's the best one, and we need to work against that. So something like the Super Hornet right now, or
Mustang Delta. No, sorry.
Delta.
No, I'm just kidding.
I
That's my favorite.
So yeah, I think the M50 is my favorite, just fun ship to fly.
Yeah. See, mine, I fly the Delta in 2 ways. I either fly it with the rockets on there, because just getting one of those rockets to land, you blow up the ship every time. But I like to equip it with 4 of the Badgers, and I've gotten to wave 18 without losing anything. So I've had some fun in that. So now let's look at the ships that are coming out that are announced. Is there one ship that's coming out that has been announced that you're looking forward to the most?
I mean, the Endeavor, I'm really excited about that, even though it's much further away. for the Ben enrichment, so people stop asking me about it. What else? No, there's all cool spaceships.
Okay. So have you had your conversations with the devs about what the... I have to ask every time, people always ask me about what the Corvette is going to be like.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the show.
Yeah.
It's turret coverage. It's a smaller Corvette. We're aiming 100, 125 meters.
Twice as big as a Connie, about.
As big as a Connie, yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Probably about 20 people, 15 people.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay. So, last question. This comes from somebody that challenged me on something. From what you know about your player slot, your NPC slots, are we going to be able to task them with missions to go out on their own, or are we only going to be able to use them in missions that we're on?
I'm going to dodge that one.
Good. That's a
Chris
Chris
that
question.
Up to Tony.
Is that Tony? Okay.
That's a Tony question.
All right, that's good. Ben, thanks. We're at the 20-minute mark, and that is good. I will get back to you tomorrow. And, folks, I want to remind you that tomorrow I will be sitting down with Sandy. So if you have any questions that relate to her job there, which is marketing, she takes care of getting all of the physical merchandise that we purchase. And she also sets up events. And if you have any questions about that, please get them into the comment section below, and I will make sure to include them in my conversation with her tomorrow. Ben,
and not just physical events. I mean, she physical stuff. She is everything from every package we sell to how we advertise to I mean, she does a whole lot.
Oh, she does a ton. Her job is huge. Believe me, when I went there to interview with her, if she offered me the job, I would have been like, this is a lot. So it's huge. All right, Ben, thank you very much for joining me. What's that ship behind you off of your left shoulder up there?
So that is a rapier from the Wing Commander movie.
All right, that's good. That's pretty. That's from the movie. Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right, good. I was like, wow, that's cool. I was like, is that what the Buccaneer is going to look like? No.
Well, I will say we set up that thread for Buccaneer art, and
freaking phenomenal.
Everybody was supposed to put up, whatever. And there's one specific image there that 4 different people immediately came to me and said, this one. So good luck figuring out which one it is.
Oh, great. Well, I think I might be able to get it out of you one day after it comes out. No. All right. Thanks, Ben, and we'll be back next week with another Bensday. Remember to put your questions down below, and Dr. Jeffrey will collect them and get them to me next week. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.